Welcome back, you guys. This is our fourth episode. I'm Angela,
I'm Ken.
and today we finally, Ken, we got a query. We got a
That's
query sent
awesome.
to us. So, but Ken's not feeling so good tonight, but he's such a trooper. He's going to do it. So this might be a short episode, but that's okay. But we're going to go through this query where I'm excited to kind of dive into it. And then we have a topic of discussion we're just going to hit briefly. You're probably not drinking tonight, Ken. So I'm drinking alone. I have my beer.
I was planning on it. I
Yeah.
actually went and bought Maker's
Mm,
Mark 46, and I was gonna have
nice.
some of that, but the old
Next
migraine
time.
crept up.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time, 100%.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not right now. It'd be the worst thing.
Oh, horrible idea. Yeah.
Maybe some water.
Oh, yeah. I'm drinking water, bottled water.
Perfect. Good. So how was your week? I mean, it's still hot over there because it's not hot over here.
97 degrees yesterday.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So Ken lives in Utah and I live in California. And I mean, where I live in California, it's not hot. I mean, we're lucky if we get like 78 degrees.
That's crazy.
I
That's
know.
insane. It's scorching out here, and I have to work out in it, so
Oh
it was a
God.
brutal week. Yeah.
Oh man, I am so sorry. I
Yeah.
wonder if that is contributing to your migraine, though, the heat, maybe.
Maybe, possibly,
You got to
maybe.
rehydrate, stay hydrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to dive into this. We have a query sent, and I'm going to go ahead. We're going to read the query. He did send his first pages. We're not going to read that on air. We're just going to discuss and give some feedback. Both Ken and I are just going to take turns in that. So we're going to get started. This is his name is Hiram Ballard. Okay. Dear agent, the boy begins life in an unusual way. With a face too flat and arms too long and not an ear to speak of, his first interactions with the other children make him wonder whether he is a monster. However, his understanding of the world and what it means to be a monster is turned upside down upon the discovery that everything that is anything is actually a monster. Written in a style that one would expect if The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, I hope I'm saying that right, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams were the single collaborative. The Little Prince's Guide to the Graveyard. Redacted is an episodic coming-of-age tale that reminds adults what it's like to be a child and shows children why adults are so cranky all the time. The book is 70,000 words long, broken into 18 chapters. My name is Hiram Ballard. I graduated in 2020 from Brigham Young University with my BA in English. I have written picture books, collections of poetry, play scripts, comics, and novels. But this will be my debut for prose publication. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to hearing from you, HFJ Ballard. And Hiram would like for me to let you guys know that you can find him only on Facebook. He has no other social media, so you just look him up under HFJ Ballard. He would love to have you. If you're interested in his story or if you want to hear more about his journey, give him a follow. So this query came in at 215 words, so it's a little short.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed right away was Hiram, you didn't add your genre. I don't know. I'm assuming that it's young adult, but I don't know if it's children's. I don't know if like middle grade. I don't know if it's young adult. I'm assuming. You haven't given us the name of the protagonist. So I don't know who the character is. I know you call him the boy. I know that you said that the writing is in a style that I actually, after reading your first few pages, I definitely felt like it was more towards the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is fine. But I wonder if maybe you don't even need to put all of that. I think you could just say like third person omniscient. or really nothing, because honestly, I think the agent would be able to figure it out. But if you wanted to put the writing style, probably I think third person omniscient would be best, because that's how it sounds like to me when I read the pages. Um, Also, I we didn't get a clear picture of the character's desire. Um, I know that I know that it's like a story about, reminding adults what it's like to be a child, but I feel like you would still need some sort of storyline there that we can follow with your protagonist. Even though we know like the world sees him as this, monster, if you will, is what you wrote in your query. I still would like to know what he wants out of life. What is it that he wants? Does he want to be like? Does he want to be famous? Like, what is it? Like, tell us, so that we know what the story is going to be about. I mean, I know I have a little bit of idea, but I would like to know more about the character. Um, 70,000 words, that's good. I don't think you need broken into 18 chapters. I think you could just say it's 70,000 words. Um, and again, not knowing what I'm assuming it's not an adult book, right? I don't think it's an adult book, but 70,000 is pretty good. But I would probably find better comps. Um, the Graveyard Book was written in 2011. The Hitchhiker's Guide, I think, came out like in the 70s. Like, these are
Yeah.
pretty old comps. And one of the things that we have to remember as debut writers trying to get that agent, the agent's thinking, where am I going to put this book? Where's this book going to go on the shelves in bookstores? Um, I don't think that they would put it beside the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Um, I One book I did think of that's a little bit newer, but still, I believe that book was written, I think, in 2012, was Wonder. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard that book, Wonder. They made a movie out of it where the little boy has deformity, was born with deformity, been homeschooled his whole life, and what he wants more than anything is to go to a real school. But that book came out in 2012. So you have some dated comps here. So I would try to find comps that has to do with maybe like the whether it's like a relationship dynamics of relationships that you can pick from different books. But I would definitely recommend current comps. Um, and then I love the beginning. I love the beginning where you say the boy begins life in an unusual way with a face too flat and arms too long and not an ear to speak of. His first interaction with the other children make him wonder whether he's a monster. I think that's great. I love that. When I read that, I immediately was like, "Oh, I love that. I love that. I want to know more about this character. I love this character already."
Yeah.
And I haven't even got what he wants, what his desire is, but I already love that. I think you should definitely keep that, because I feel like that's like a good way to hook the agent. Um, but definitely go into tell us what he wants. We kind of have an idea of what's taking it away from him is because, the world doesn't see him as a person, right? So we kind of get that. And then better comps. And then I like your biography. I was just wondering though, have any of those works that you did, have they ever been published? I see that you wrote picture books, collections, play scripts, comics, and novels, but were any of those published, or self-published? Maybe mention if they are. I think that would be good. Um, but yeah, other than that, I really like the story. I enjoyed reading the first pages. Ken, do you have anything else to add on the query letter?
The query definitely too short. Just that one little blurb about the story. It definitely needs to be extended a couple times there and get a little more into what he wants, what he's accomplishing, what the end goal is. Kind of elaborate a little bit more. Um, some comparable comps to, like you said, the comps, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Brandon Sanderson in 2023 just released an ode to Galaxy called A Frugal Wizard's Guide to Medieval England,
Oh,
and it's in the style of Hitchhiker's,
yep.
and so that would be a really good one. And you're a BYU guy, and Brandon teaches at BYU,
Oh, nice.
so we're Utah boys. So that might not be a bad thing to go. I really like the first paragraph of the pages too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that poetic, like with the semicolons, it just really hits hard, and I really enjoyed reading that first part about the boy being born. I thought that was
Yes.
brilliant. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so just so listeners, basically what the first few pages that he sent us is the narration. So if you haven't seen or read Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, you have this narrator that's telling the story in a specific sort of like funny way, I guess, or comedic way. I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
I tried to look up to what they call that, but all I found was like third person omniscient. It was like it's a very unique style. It's fun. But basically the first few pages is we see this boy um being born, like he's in the hospital, there's the doctor is there, there's the nurse. And then, of course the baby comes out and they're like looking
calling
at
it
it like, what is this?
yeah, calling it ugly, basically.
Yeah, calling it ugly, giving it names, whatever. The
Yeah,
doctor's kind of like wants to go help another mom, and then we get to there is a couple lines here that I thought was it could be a little bit head hopping. There was just a sentence here where you talk about the mom looking down at her son and saying how much she loved him, and whatever. It was, I felt like for a second there, I was like, "Wait, how does he know that?" And I thought if this is something that his, because it's hard to tell. I know that the point of view is like in the boy's perspective, but because you have his thoughts when he looks at his mom,
yeah,
and but I just thought like maybe have it to where like he heard the story. Maybe this is like a story that was told to him. But other than that, I mean, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. And then by the end of the pages, he goes to school, and that's when he finds out that people are just mean. The kids are mean. They're cruel, and he learns something. It kind of leaves it on a bit of a little cliffhanger for us, but
yeah,
but I really enjoyed it. I will say that I was definitely pulled in. I was definitely intrigued.
yeah,
This is something that was so different that I was just like, I think I could read a full book of this. I could
yeah,
definitely get into this. Which just needed a few questions answered. I'd love to know the name of this character. I'd
yeah,
love to know how old he is and like the present, or do we watch him grow up? Because it feels like to me he's sort of thinking back. I don't know, but
yeah. And with omniscient, it's like the overarching narrator, right? That's seeing the stuff play out.
yeah.
So it's different than Third Limited, where you go inside a certain character's head. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah, and maybe even maybe if it's omniscient, like third person or whatever, maybe mention that just to, but honestly, I feel like the agent would figure it out.
Yeah,
But that's a tricky way to write. I mean, I couldn't even imagine where to begin, but I mean, it's still good. It was still really good. I would
yeah,
totally read
yeah,
this.
for sure. Yeah, I enjoyed reading it for sure. But you might want to choose if you want to go omniscient or if you want to go limited, like with the boy's point of view completely, or if you want to do an overarching where your basically narrator knows everything about everybody's thoughts and feelings and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
um,
But
yeah,
yeah,
definitely decide which path you want to go there.
yeah, so that was all. I think that was pretty much the notes that I had. But Hiram, I am definitely intrigued.
Yeah,
I hope that it gets published. And if it does, always, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know if you become agented your publication, because we'd love to celebrate that with you. Thank you for trusting us with your query letter and first pages. That's a lot. We know how much goes into it. Both Ken and I know exactly what goes into writing that, and we know what goes into sending it off to complete stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to put yourself out there like that.
It is, but honestly, and I think you could definitely sell this. I just think that you need to just expand a little bit more in your query letter. I think it needs to expand a little bit more, give us a little bit more about the character, a little bit more of the stakes or the problem for your character that comes up that goes against what his desire is. But yeah, and you have some room there. I mean, this only came out to 215 words, so you have some. There's definitely some room there. I think you could get rid of that second paragraph with the different comps and find some current comparisons. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Yeah,
We're very excited to get that in today, and we hope
we
that
were.
our feedback helped you in some way. So we hope that you're able to take what we have said and be able to work with that. But other than that, we really loved it. So I we have a little bit of a topic that we want to talk about today. I have this is one of my favorite quotes from Ernest Hemingway, and I got to thinking about it. Hey, writer friends! Querying is hard, and putting together a query letter is even harder. We want to help. Send us your query letter and first 3 pages to our email at TwoWritersInaBar@gmail.com, and we'll read your query on air and give feedback on your first pages. And don't forget to tell us where we can find you on social media so we can share it with all our listeners. We want to help, inspire, and celebrate with you on your writing journey. And both Ken and I are working on a first draft, but the quote is the first draft of anything is shit by Ernest Hemingway.
100% fact.
And you know what? I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Ken and I are both writing a first. We both have a first draft done. So we are in the process of editing that first draft. And I just thought that we would just kind of talk about. I wanted to share with you my very first story of where I had no plot, I had no character desire, I had head hopping, and I actually queried an agent, a lot of agents with that first draft.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say that the amount of agents that I queried a first draft to this day, I'm like, oh my God, like that was so, oh God. Every time I think about it, I'm just like, I die each time.
Yeah. It's terrible.
And I'm sharing it with you guys now. I don't know, maybe you guys never done that, but I definitely did because I knew absolutely nothing. I knew nothing, and I thought my book was amazing and it was great, and agents were
Yeah.
gonna love it, and I was gonna have so many agents that wanted it. I was gonna have to figure out which agent I wanted to go to,
Yeah.
and I got nothing but rejections.
Oh, yeah.
So I have learned since then, you definitely don't want to query your first draft.
No, not no, but hell no.
Don't do what I did. Don't query that first draft because
No,
Ernest Hemingway is right. The first draft of anything is shit. Okay.
it is.
And we've talked about this in another episode, but my first draft is always crap. Poor Ken has to put up with those first like few chapters that are not cleaned up.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
okay
get
though.
better. This next book, I started writing my next book, and I promise that by the time I send it to you, it'll be clean, or as
Nice.
clean as I can get it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, mine are pretty shit too, to be honest. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. You got to get the story and tell it to yourself, and then after that, then you can start to, you know, clean it up for other people.
Yeah, because that first draft, exactly, you're telling yourself the story. So you're
Yeah,
putting in details that don't need to be there.
exactly.
There's details in that first draft that you need to know as the writer because you
Yeah,
need to know that to go on to the next, bit or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, so one thing that I know is that it always gets better in the multiple drafts after that.
Oh, by
There's
far, yeah.
always, yeah, you're that second draft, you're gonna catch things once you go back. So I don't know, do you edit as you go, or do you write it all and then go back and edit? How do
I
you do
write it
that?
all. I just write the whole damn thing, and
Yeah.
then I go through and do like a grammar type edit, which takes me, I can pop out like 5 or 6 of those grammar, fixing the lines so they sound better, just little tidying things up, and then that I can get like 5 chapters a day, maybe 6. It only takes me a few hours to do that pass.
That's
Um,
wild.
but then I come to a second cleaning pass, and then I start to throw in the foreshadow, like I have a whole list of
Okay.
notes that I save, and I throw in the foreshadowing. I change stuff because in one chapter he's doing this, in the other chapter it was here. I fix mistakes basically in the
Yeah.
storytelling structure there, and
So do
in the
you
plot.
write those notes as you go along, or like you catch them, like you know you need to do that, or you catch it after the first read or second read?
All of the above. I catch
Okay.
them. Like I'll get into chapter like say 40.
Mhm.
And I remember in chapter 19, I'm like, but I made this guy blind, but I
Oh
need him
yeah.
to see here. So I write a note, hey, dummy, fix the chapter
Okay.
19.
Oh, good. So
Or,
you leave
you know,
notes in your manuscript too? I like it's like in all caps and it's highlighted.
no, it's a completely separate document
Oh,
where
okay.
I just have a huge list of shit like, hey, chapter 19 needs a rewrite. This is
Oh, okay.
stupid. Don't forget that this is here, and it's huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I put it
Yeah.
in the manuscript.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so,
didn't,
like, then I scroll through and I see the highlight, I'm like, "Oh, this is a problem area," and I'll leave a note, like,
yeah.
"Needs a deeper point of view here," or why are they doing why does he do this or she do this or whatever,
Yeah.
so that I can go back and elaborate or, go into, my last note was, "Ken would say more detail
Yes.
here."
Yeah, and I also use that little extra sheet for all the character names
Okay,
because
mhm.
where with what you're writing, your genre, you don't, the names aren't as crazy like fantasy.
Yeah.
The town names and the people names and the spells and the magic and in mine mushrooms, they all have 1,000 different names,
Yeah.
and you got to keep track of that or else
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
go crazy.
Yeah, my first story, by the warriors that I had, yeah, I had that all I have
Yeah,
so many note system and all that. So yeah. But now what I do is I put it all in the manuscript like a dummy.
oh wow, no, that's
But
cool.
but yeah, but like, I don't know if you remember, like, I mean, like, if you get published, and you get your fans, your readers, and they want to see all that extra stuff, like you would have it, not me. I gets deleted.
Yeah,
Like I remember J.K. Rowling had a bunch of notes, extra notes for Harry Potter that she put on her website.
yeah.
And they were like fun things, drawings that she did, potions that she wrote, handwritten, and all that stuff. So maybe I need to keep some of my notes.
Maybe. It's not a
Yeah, because
bad
I usually
idea.
delete it. I mean,
Yeah, because you fix them and then you just cut them out. That makes
yeah, I cut them
yeah,
and then I delete them. How dumb! Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Huh, hey, it happens. Now you have something else to improve that
Oh joy.
improves your writing.
Oh yeah.
You start
Another
a new
thing.
document. Yeah,
Oh joy.
yeah,
Well, I do have like, I mean, I do have a separate document for like my beats for the character names, what their issue is, like what's their problem.
yeah, just
Um,
go below that and then just write out all your stuff there.
yeah, so yeah, I guess I'll have to reconfigure that. But so yeah, so I will write like you all the way through and then I go back. But do you write ask really quickly, do you write in order or do you skip around?
I make it up as I go. Like I have no plot, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, like, do you like started like your chapter one and then you like move 5 chapters ahead because you want to write the scene, or do you go in sequential order, like chapter
I
one,
just
finish,
yeah, 100% sequential, I guess.
sequential?
I
Okay.
just make it up as I go and I never skip ahead to anything. It's
Oh,
just
okay. Yeah.
one big flowing line
Okay.
until
Good.
the end.
Same.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I first started writing, I did try to skip scenes because I knew what like the next couple chapters were.
Yeah.
But then when I went back and then wrote to get to that, a bunch of stuff changed.
Oh, yeah, that would screw me over
And then
horribly.
I had to delete everything I wrote, so I was so mad. So I never did that again. I
Yeah,
never did that again. So now I just write in sequential order. So what I
yeah,
do is I write everything, I go to the end, and then I go back and I'm an underwriter, so I have to go in and add all my extra shit. I have to go and add detailed scenes, elaborate scenes. Ken knows this.
yeah.
He helps me a lot with this. Thank you.
I do the same
So
thing.
yeah, but I feel like but you're not an underwriter.
No.
Yeah,
No,
you're
but
an
but I still have to go back and flesh out
mhm.
certain portions, especially early. Like, the first, like, 5 to 10 chapters, I'm still figuring it out,
Yeah,
and so that really I need to go back through and flesh out those first few 10 chapters maybe. I'm throwing a
yeah,
number, I don't know exactly how
yeah.
many, but, um, yeah, I have to go back through and literally just, like, flesh them out, um, and after that, like, I'm almost done editing now, or
Are you?
almost completely done, yes.
Ooh,
Um, and the later chapters are so freaking easy because they're already fleshed out because I know
yes.
the people, I know the story, I know the characters.
Hey, writer friends. We know our podcast title is the start of a good joke. So send us your best writing joke at TwoWritersInaBar@gmail.com and we'll tell it on air. And don't forget to tell us where we can find you on social media so we can share it with all our listeners. Let's have a good laugh while we wait in the query trenches. Yeah.
So
Yeah, because by the time we get to those last chapters, you've already you're sort of buttoning everything up, but you already
yeah,
have everything there. So it's just a matter of just
yeah.
closing it up real nice and pretty so you can end the book. Yeah.
You know their voice, you know everything you need to know about them, and
Yeah,
it's so
because
much easier.
so do you do like a deep dive into your character before you start writing, or do you learn who they are as you go? Because I think that's my problem with
Learn
my
as I go.
first. Yeah, see, I did the same thing in my first draft, and lately I've been thinking maybe I need to get a little bit more into my character. But you know me, but I'm a plotter. So this is
Yeah.
just for me, like, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
yeah.
um my thing. Like I was just thinking because I have a tendency to just not get enough about them, I think. And then that's why I feel like when I have to flesh out a little bit more when I go back. So
Yeah,
I feel like
makes
if I
sense.
had that deep stuff about my character, then wouldn't take me so long to edit.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I don't know, I just I just wing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Me too. Me too.
I don't even know my characters. I know the main character, and then if somebody else pops up, I'm like, "Hey, who are you?" I have no idea.
So you don't get the history, you don't get no back history, like,
Nothing.
that somebody beat them up at the schoolyard when they were like in
Nothing.
kindergarten.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So sometimes when I'm writing that first draft, some of that stuff will come out. It'll come out where, you have to I mean, it's just like us in real life, our opinions and things, excuse me, thoughts are shaped by shit we went through
yeah,
growing up, If you
yeah,
had to deal with, you're gonna view the world a certain way, right? By
yeah,
some of the things that happened to you in the past, whether it's negative or positive. So sometimes when I'm writing, that stuff will come out as I go along, and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. So when she was 8 years old, this happened. And then but it works. But damn, if I would have known that
yeah,
at the beginning,
yeah,
those first few chapters would have been, maybe a little bit more, a little deeper, I think, with the characters,
yeah. I get what you're saying.
But, like Ernest Hemingway says, it's the first draft is shit, and that's okay. And I've been learning to just be like, it's okay. This is the first draft. This is not, I'm not going to do what I did in the past and
Yeah.
query agents with my first draft.
No. I think I did that with my first one too.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so. And I
I
had
mean,
no POV.
yeah,
No
no, neither
POV.
did
It
I.
was
None.
action, description,
Yep.
that's it. Nothing
Hmm.
else.
I
Yeah,
had no character desire. I had no plot.
yeah. I had a plot at least, but I had
I
no
didn't have that.
POV, no internal thoughts, nothing.
Yeah. Maybe I might have had some italics in there of something she thought, but other than that, no, there was I
I don't think I
remember
did.
I that's the story that I told you I paid for an editor. I paid all that money, and
Oh yeah,
she
yeah,
and in the book, she was like, "Would really love to know what she's thinking right here."
yeah.
And I was like, "Me too." No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, yeah, that would be cool.
That would be great if, like, the whole book was like that, huh? What a
Yeah.
concept.
Huh. Who'd have thunk it?
I
Huh.
mean, what's so funny is I think and you and I have been we've been readers, well, safe to say since we were kids, right? Teens
Oh
at
yeah.
least. We've been readers. And I know that. Like, I understand that, but yet it wasn't in that first draft.
No.
And I would go and I would read other books and be like, "So, why is this one different than mine? Why is this one what am I doing wrong?" Like, couldn't see it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I read voraciously as a kid, as a teenager,
Yeah.
and my first book, I didn't have quotation marks on my dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Mhm.
didn't even know they existed. Like, I'd read hundreds of books, and I don't know why my brain just didn't pick up that when they talk, when they speak, you have to have tags. Like, why didn't I see that? I should know this.
I feel like I could just see you just, like, typing away, like, just in a
Yeah,
hurry. It's like, "Da, da, 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 da," and you just weren't even thinking about it.
I wasn't. I wasn't. Yeah, not at all. And I
Yeah.
sent it to agents like that. Dialogue, no tags,
Oh my god.
no
I had
quotes.
dialogue tags,
Not me.
but I didn't have a plot. I mean, at least you had a plot.
Yeah. So if we put our books together, maybe we would add even maybe a little better one.
I mean, I do feel bad for some of those agents that read that. They're like, "Oh my god, like, pass, pass."
I got a request
What?
with with, but
No dialogue tag?
there was no dialogue yet.
Oh my god.
So I got a
Oh
request. I
my god.
think it was a partial for that one,
No
and
way. Oh my
and
god.
but it was starting out with him just going into a house and like a cat was there and he was feeding his neighbor's cat. You know what I mean? Um, so there was no dialogue, and then I guarantee when I
Oh,
sent
oh,
it to
okay.
them,
Okay,
they're
gotcha.
they're they're reading it. They're like, "What the fuck did we do?" You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, you know
Yeah,
what? That's impressive. No,
yeah.
that's really fucking impressive. You got a freaking partial request on a first draft.
On a
Honestly,
first
I
draft.
mean, literally, come on, take a
Thank you,
bow.
thank
Take a
you.
bow, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that is pretty fucking amazing.
Well, I accidentally fucking put no dialogue in the first, so I got lucky. But
Well, yeah, but I mean, I honestly that really does speak volume about your writing because Ken's writing is really great, you guys. I know I say that all the time. Oh,
yeah,
by the way, oh my god. I can't believe I forgot. I cannot believe I forgot this. You guys probably saw it on Instagram. I posted on Instagram, by the way. I left the links in our bio on Instagram and Twitter. But if you guys want to read Ken's stuff, you can totally do that, Ken. Go ahead. Let's talk about. I'm so sorry we mentioned this before.
oh
I feel
no,
like
you're
such an
good.
idiot.
No,
No.
flashfictionmagazine.com.
Yep.
It's the story's called Tension's Edge. That one's good to go. And then I on July 2nd, I just got published in West of Dodge, which
So
is an
Tension's Edge. Do
anthology.
you want to explain to them what Tension's Edge is about?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sorry.
no, it's a flash fiction story, obviously. Flashfictionmagazine.com. It's basically a story about a Middle Eastern doctor that's in the middle of a war zone that has to make a difficult decision,
Yeah.
uh, a
Yeah.
morally gray decision.
Very
Yeah,
good. Such a good story. I got to read it before it was published, so it was really, really good. I loved
and
it.
critique it. Yeah,
And critique it, yeah.
yep.
And then your other story in West of Dodge,
Yeah, West of Dodge anthology by Saddleback Dispatches is
and
one in
that's
15 more.
okay. And that story is. Do you want to
Um,
tell them a little bit that one?
yeah, it's about a gunslinger named Felina Reyes, and she basically rides into town after some guys that did some pretty awful things.
She's a badass. I
She's a
fucking love her.
bad bitch, like yeah, death incarnate basically. And she
It's
rides
kind of
into town and fucking drags these two brothers that did some pretty awful shit.
it's like a western kind of sci-fi. What would you call it?
a Western fantasy
Western
hybrid, like,
fantasy, yeah.
um, yeah, and I wrote a whole novel about her, um, which
It's gonna get published, it's gonna
I'm
get
still working on,
published.
but
Yes.
it's almost like my ode and love to the Dark Tower series, which is one of my favorite things, which is if you see the shirt I'm wearing,
Let's
there you
see.
go, Dark
All
Tower.
right. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm
Awesome.
obsessed. So it's kind of my ode to that, and so this is a non-fantastical version of Felina, leaning more into the Western side of things, where she basically just
Yeah.
kicks some ass and
It
takes
I felt
names.
like I felt like it would be like Quentin Tarantino writing a fantasy story, like what is
Yes,
that? What was that? A Hateful Eight, but like
yes,
in set in
love
a fantasy.
Tarantino.
Yes, same. And
Yeah.
I felt like it was like Hateful Eight, but like in a fantasy setting. That's what it felt like, and that's why I fucking loved it.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, you guys check those out. I think you can get What's Up Dodge on Amazon, right? I think it's
yeah.
available.
Yeah, I think they sell it in physical on Amazon, but then anywhere you can buy stuff on your Kindle,
Oh,
they sell
digital.
the
Yeah.
digital version everywhere
Yep.
where you can get it. So
You guys, if you want to try and if you want to read Ken's work, I highly recommend it. And I'm not just saying that because he's my critique partner. I would recommend anyway, even if we weren't, because his writing is really good. These stories are incredible. So go out there, read his stuff,
thank you.
get the book, get the anthology, get it, read the flash fiction. It's so good. I have the links in our bio on Instagram and Twitter. I haven't updated YouTube yet. I had so much stuff trying to do with social media. I was recording, I was trying to edit. I started editing your first chapter, but I haven't finished it yet. So it's saved the draft.
I rewrote my very first
Yeah.
book. You saw that? I don't know if you
Oh, well,
saw.
I'm reading the first chapter. You rewrote the first chapter for this one. So I was critiquing that, but I got so busy today. I was trying to do social media. I was trying to do some recording. I had some calls with work. It was a busy day. It's my day off, and all I did was like work.
Yeah, I did a bunch of crap today too. Like I sent off 12 or 15 queries today
Oh, good. Yay. Awesome. All
for the
right.
newest
Cool.
project. I finished the full rewrite of Calidus Prin, which is the name
Oh
of the
my
character,
gosh.
and I
Yes.
sent it off to a really big magazine that I'm praying I get published in.
All right. Let's do
And
it.
then so sent off queries, rewrote Calidus, and then my first story, you know the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Hmm.
I rewrote the whole first thing, but that was yesterday, I guess.
I was gonna
So
say you did all of that today.
no, just those two
Gosh.
things today.
Oh God. I was like, wow. I think I wrote like 5 sentences in my new book. I will say that I have about a little over 3,000 in my new book
Nice.
that I started. But I tried to write a little bit today, but I got too busy with just so much stuff. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys want to support Ken and read his work, you can get an idea of his type of writing style and the type of stories that he writes. Give him a follow on Instagram because he doesn't post there often, but he should.
I
Just
have
kidding.
been. I think I
Oh,
did
have you?
recently.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
trying.
okay.
I'm a
Yeah,
hermit recluse, but I'll try.
it's so hard. It's so hard. Why? The writers in the past, they were so lucky they didn't have to do social media.
I know.
I can only imagine. I mean, thankfully we have Stephen King today on Twitter and everything, but can you imagine him being on Instagram
That'd be
talking
crazy.
about Carrie, talking about
Yeah.
Christine and Cujo, and be like, what?
Yeah, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Uh,
But anyway, so yeah, so I still have to send you my last few chapters of this. I haven't been able to really do any editing, but that is basically my editing style. When I do a first draft, I just get it all out. When you hear other writers say, what's the best writing advice, and they say just write, they are correct.
yeah.
Just write it down. And I've talked about this before where I would just, on days that I didn't want to write or I didn't know where I was going to go with the story, I just sat my ass down and told myself to fucking write. Like, just write. Who
Yeah.
cares what it comes out? I can always go back and delete it, but you need to write. And
Yes.
that's how I treat my first draft. I kind of get it out there. I do plot the beats. I've talked about that.
Yeah.
So I do have a general idea of where I know the story is going. But as far as it being beautiful and pretty and, all of that, that comes in later for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Well,
kind of for me.
yeah, but I've read your first draft stuff is pretty good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I mean, I appreciate that, but I go back and I'm like, ooh, they're horrible, But it's
Well,
just I spend like 5 or 6 passes, which takes me
okay.
months. I spend every single day. I don't take a day off hardly,
Yeah.
and I'll spend like 60 days, 90 days doing pass after pass. And towards the end, I'm so sick of looking at it that I
You
just
know,
want to move on to the next project.
yeah, I don't do as many passes. I probably should go back and do a third pass, but I usually just do go back that second time. And then, well, usually with your critiques, though, then I go in and fix it, and then that's it.
Yeah,
And if and then I start querying. If I get rejections, whatever, I just move on to the next story. So,
yeah. I
um,
I would maybe suggest a third pass.
yeah.
And
He's like, go back, girl, go back.
I'm not saying it like that, but
It's okay.
but like my first chapter, I probably have like 10 passes. Like the first
Yeah.
3 chapters, I do 10 passes.
Well,
Every
okay, I will say yes. On the first chapter, I've done about 3 or 4 passes before I send it
Yeah,
to you. So I will
yeah.
because I really want to get that first chapter
You wanna
down as
nail it.
clean, yeah, as clean as possible because I know, especially when you query,
Yeah.
they're going to take weeks and weeks and weeks, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that first chapter has to be as clean as possible because that's what you're sending off.
Yeah,
And then by the time they read that, and by the time they ask for a request, by the time all that happens, I'm usually, I'm done with the editing the book and stuff.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that first chapter, yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Multiple
Eh,
passes. Yeah.
the first 3 because a lot of the
Yeah.
agents I query like the first 3
The
sent to them
first, yeah.
chapters,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
so that's a good thing to clean those up. I mean, the rest of it's pretty clean too, but
Yeah. Because again, like we said, as you're going along, you're getting a better idea of the story and the character and all the motivations and everything. So as the
yeah,
story by the end, it's pretty good. It's really just those first few chapters that I have to clean up, but yeah. But yeah, so that's how the first draft, don't beat yourself up over it. If you're listening and you're like, "Why can't I write a clean, perfect first
nobody can.
draft?" Yeah, I mean, if you can, that's amazing. But
I mean, I guess if you wrote 1 word a day for, like, 10 years, maybe.
yeah,
If
maybe.
you're just like, "the," and then the next day, "and," maybe you might be able to write it perfect, but I don't think so.
I don't wanna do 10 years on one book, but yeah.
No.
Just get it done, guys. Just write that first draft. It's okay if it's shit because we all have shitty first drafts. You're not alone in that. So, and that's one thing I think that Ken and I always want to sort of establish with you guys. Like we're all in this together. So if you send that first draft to your critique partner and they have a ton of notes and there's like they have all these different things read or if there's notes everywhere, comments, whatever, you know
Yeah,
what? Embrace it. Embrace it because hopefully they're giving you valuable feedback.
yeah,
So
100%. And
yeah.
writing, don't forget that writing is a ladder. Everything you
Yeah.
write, you get better and better and better and better. I look
That's very
back,
true.
even at my thing that got published recently, I'm like, "Oh, I'd fix that, I'd fix this, I'd clean that up," you know what I mean? Everything, like
And I've heard that other published authors do that. They go
yeah,
even after it's published, they're like, "Oh man, I know there's so many things that I would go and change and fix."
yeah.
But it's published.
It's published, and which is awesome, and I'm super
Yes.
happy about it, but I'm like,
Yes.
"If I could just change that just a little," you know?
Yo, can I fix this? Let me just fix this.
Give me, like, 100 edits real quick. No.
Yeah.
But I
That's
feel like
funny.
that, looking back because even though that story's published and it obviously had enough merit to get published, it
Yes.
was written a year and a half, 2 years ago or whenever, a year and a half maybe, and
Has
I've just
it? Oh my
proceed
gosh.
I've gotten better.
Wow.
I've gotten so much better
Yeah.
that I can see the flaws now
Mhm.
in that, even though it was technically good enough to get published. I'm like, "Oh, I wish I didn't do that. I wish this was here." It's part of being a writer, I guess.
It's just you're always thinking about how you can make it better always. And you know
Yeah,
what? My advice is make it better in the next book. Make it better in the next
exactly.
book.
Yeah,
Start that next book, get the next book going and just take what you learn and put it in that next book. And
Well, yeah, don't give up. Like, the
yeah, for
first
sure.
book's usually going to be shit. It's really, really rare for your first book to be good. Even if you write it well, edit it like a bunch of times, it's really rare for that first book to be good.
Yeah, exactly. I always think about was it Christopher Paolini? He wrote Aragon when he was like 16.
Yeah.
Um, I bet you he would probably say if he could go back and he'd probably make a bunch of changes in that. I thought that book was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I guarantee he'd want to go back
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah,
And he's got a movie deal,
absolutely.
and now that's turning into a TV series, which I can't wait. I can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't wait for the TV series. The movie was shit, but man, I can't. I really hope. I feel like the TV series is going to be like on it, but
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah. I was excited watching Aragon the first 5 minutes, and then after that, it just bombed. I was like, "What is this? What am I watching? This is not the book. I don't know what this is."
That's how I felt about the Dark Tower movie. I
Oh,
loved I
really?
loved Idris Elba as the gunslinger, but
Yeah,
they butchered the story so bad I couldn't even
really.
watch it. I had to turn it off.
Oh
But thank
no.
God they're doing a TV series of the Dark Tower. It
Oh,
should
are
be
they?
coming out. Yes, I'm so stoked.
We need to do, let's plan this. We need to do a Stephen King episode so we can talk about his works, because I've seen most of the movies, but you've read the books.
I've seen all the movies and read most of the books. My dad collected every Stephen King book,
Let's
and
do it.
so
Okay, let's do it. We'll pick a movie though that we can watch and then we can talk about it. And
yeah.
I want to read Salem's Lot. I think I heard of the vampire book.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay. Yeah,
It's tied
another.
into the Dark Tower too. One of the characters in Salem's Lot is in
Oh.
the Dark Tower.
Okay. Well,
Keep
I'm gonna try to read. I haven't. I don't know if it's. I'm just scared to read some of this stuff. Like I don't know if I'm able to sleep at night.
No, oh my lord. Yeah, you need to read the Dark Tower series. It's like a mix between a
Yeah, but
western,
yeah,
a
it's like 12
sci-fi.
books. I'm not reading 12
It's
books.
7. 7.
7. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
7.
it's life-changing.
I'll start off with Salem's Lot. How about that?
That works. I'll take
Okay.
that. I'll
Thank
take
you.
it.
But yeah, let's plan that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to talk about Stephen King.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
mean, I loved all his damn movies, and he has some really good, solid writing advice. I mean, he has a whole freaking book on it. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that's it, guys. That's it for our episode. Thank you, Hiram, for sending us your query. We appreciate it.
Say hi, Anders.
Hi, Indiana. Look, there's. Oh my
Hi,
gosh, say
baby girl. Look.
hi.
Hi, sweetheart. All right, sorry.
Hi. No. Oh my gosh. We need to add her.
I
We need to
know.
add her. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
You
a
should have
good
her
girl.
sitting next to you.
I know I should, but I got a whole bunch of stuff on the couch. Next time.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, baby girl.
All right, guys. So yeah, thank you, Hiram, for sending us your query. We appreciate
Appreciate it.
it. I hope that you listeners, feel free to send us queries that you need critiqued on. We're not mean. We're nice. We know what it feels like. So, and again, share with us your social media. Follow HFJ Ballard on Facebook. I'm sure he would love it.
Absolutely.
Let him know that you heard about his query and first pages on our podcast. So yeah, and we will see you guys. And we actually have next episode, we have a guest coming on.
Nice.
She is a co-host of another podcast, and we're going to talk story structure and some movies and all of that. So we're excited about that. So
Oh, yeah.
next episode in about 2 weeks. So that's it, guys. That's what we have. We hope you learned something from us, and we will see you next time. Bye. Bye, Indiana.
Fair. Bye, baby.
That's it for today's episode, friends. We hope you learned something new today. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube under Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast. Our YouTube episodes will upload on Thursdays, the day after the show airs, if you want to watch. And if you want your query letter in first 3 pages critiqued and read on air by us, send them to our email at TwoWritersInaBar@gmail.com. Put query on air in the subject line. We will read them on a first come, first served basis. Remember, we are here to help, inspire, and celebrate. Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast is produced by Brava Media Group.